The LGBT DSTV community. Let's talk about it. The girls, the gays, and the theys. Can't forget about them. I think I've been screwing up so many different things as of recently because there's so many things in my head. Okay. In 3, 2, 1. Why is it doing? The LGBT DSTV community. Let's talk about it. First and foremost, it's not actually DSTV somewhere in there. It's LGBTQIA plus community. But I wanted to make you laugh. So yeah, I think we all know what it's June. If you didn't know, welcome to June. We are in the month of June. The month where every company wants to put all the rainbow colors on everything. To make us feel seen, to make us feel heard, to make us feel like they have us. They have our support. And I don't understand why on the 1st of July, all of a sudden the colors go away. We're in black and white. We're back to the old ages. Because you know how it is in the 80s, everything was in black and white. We're back to that because, well, apparently that's what we deserve. But this month, we shall be talking everything gay. We are going to be listening to the girls, the gays, the theys, and the non-binary babes because it's what we do, right? I listen, you listen, we all listen, and well, you kind of have to listen because I am one of them. So send a queer folk money today. In case you didn't know, my account, it only starts receiving money from 100 ULA upwards. Thanks. If you need my number, just DM me. Also, Miss Manager Mem is still fighting with her issues. She said, send money. Last time we were sending thoughts and prayers. Send money this time because, well, it's not cute this side. She's struggling. Other than that, let's just get into it. Do we know who the LGBT DSTV community is? That's the lesbians, the gays, LGB, bisexuals, T, transgender, Q, queer, I don't know that one, asexual. We have so many letters. This is one of the biggest reasons why we're called the alphabet mafia also, because at some point soon we're just going to put the entire alphabet in the wrong order, right? But yeah, June happens to be Pride Month and we celebrate all of these people and the fact that they have come to accept who they are, and then on top of that they tell people about who they are and when, yay, it could very much go left. I think we all know that some people out there still think, in my opinion, just a tad bit backward and want to dictate how people love and do all of that, and yet it has quite literally nothing to do with them because it will not affect your bills or whatever. But anyway, moving on. So we're just celebrating them all month and we have everything to talk about, from accepting yourself to coming out to dating to the smallness of the dating pool to the toxic ideology behind biphobia to this thing of us keeping in touch with our exes and then dating our exes' friends, and yeah, that also just comes back down to the smallness of the dating pool in the DSTV community because it's a lot. I don't understand it. I don't know why we keep doing it to ourselves because it's just torture at this point. Remember how last episode I said y'all be hating each other? Yeah, it's even worse within this community because So I'm gonna start off with a little bit about me as a gay person. I realized that I liked the girls when I was maybe 11, yeah, around 11, 12 actually. That's when I started to figure it out. I started to know.
I think you should close the keys that don't make sense.
thinking right now that 12 is a little young, like how did you already know? Let me tell you something. At my small age, I was doing a lot. I think I was very eager to know what goes on behind closed doors, and I was experimenting. So one day, I was with some girl, and we were in a room together. We had a sleepover, I remember, and she had this bunk bed. So we're on the top bunk, and I can't remember who was in the bottom bunk. Like, it was one of those situations where there wasn't a lot of space in the house, so you kind of just had to sleep wherever you sleep. And yeah, there we are. I was sleeping, we were doing our thing. You know, at some point I turned around I was facing the wall, and she was facing me. So I had my back to her. Right? I turn around. It's in the dark, by the way. 1 2 1 2. We're kissing. This is me at 11 years old. And it wasn't like a little, it was a full-on, yeah, we're about to engage in adult activities type of kiss. It was a full-blown make out. And this continued on for a few more months until eventually, I think she moved. Yeah, she moved. And then I just never saw her again. But no, I saw her a few years later. And guess what? The tension was still there, and we continued to do this. And now, so I've known I've been a little fruity pop for a while. It's been a while. And then I tried to suppress it, you know, when I got to high school, because it was, oh, that's wrong. The Bible says this, da 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 da. But oh, you're gonna go to hell. Oh, but that's not normal. Oh, they'll kill you. They'll hang you for being this person. And I was like, yep, you're all right. You are all right. Mostly because I have trauma with the words "they'll kill you" or "you'll die," because that was what my mom used to tell me about literally everything. If I wanted to eat a carrot straight from the ground, she would tell me that I would get sick and die. So anytime I heard "you'll die," I was convinced I was doing something wrong, and I wouldn't do it. So yeah, high school came, and I was like, yeah, I can't do this until I go to boarding school. I was put in the best situation ever. A bunch of naked women every day. Come on. For months on end. And I was at that boarding school for a good year and a quarter. Right? Yeah, 4 terms. Oh, shame. Loved it with all my heart. That's when I was like, no guys, actually I'm gay. But I didn't say it out loud. Very few people knew at the time. I think like my closest friends, so like my roommate, who had lots and lots and lots of sexual tension with, who eventually became my girlfriend, and then we broke up, so she's my ex now. But mad love for you though. We're still very cool actually. We're actually still really good friends. We still talk. We still catch up. This is part of the LGBT what community, because we continue to talk to our exes even when we really shouldn't. But this one I say I can't continue to talk to. It's certain ones that I shouldn't, you know, associate with, because I will die. I'm telling you right now, if I were to go to any one of my sisters and say, guys, I'm talking to this one again, they would look at me and be like, oh, in love, happy. And I'd be like, yeah, and they'd be like, do you not know that you almost went to Sabrana? For those of you who are not in Botswana, the listeners who are not in Botswana, Sabrana is a mental hospital that is in the next town over. Yeah, it wasn't a cute one. That relationship, it was great while it lasted, and then it went downhill. It just, you know, in life when you think things are going up, and then it just starts to go down. That's basically what happened in that relationship. So, yeah. So at 12 years old, there I am doing all of this. High school comes, I'm like, yeah, no, I am gay, and I just kept on moving. I never really felt the need to just like come out or anything. Like I never felt the need to be like, friend, can I talk to you for a second? So I like girls. No, I really didn't do that. I just kind of was like, hey man, whoever sees it, sees it. The girls I talk to, and hopefully they reciprocate the same energy, because, well, I'm trying to touch you where you pee. And yeah. And it's been such a roller coaster, because I went through so many phases from like before when I didn't understand it at 11 years old. I barely, because nobody's talked about this. That's the reality of it. Nobody talks about the fact that there's people out there who like the same sex or who like, all these different things that they like. So at the time, I had no information about it. I had no education on the topic, and I was just thinking, I'm just doing whatever because I was still young, right? And then later on, when it's finally becomes a topic that people start to talk about, or you see it in the news and you hear your parents going, "This is so wrong," you realize, oh, maybe I shouldn't do that. So I went through. I already was fine with who I was, and then I went to, I shouldn't be doing this. To, you know what? Fuck it. This is my life. What are you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? Who are you to stop me? And especially now, because I am queer and I have people in my life who are such great support systems. They don't judge me. They just say, hey man, do whatever you do, And there's a delicate balance, right? Because I know there's a bunch of straight people looking at this like, no, but the queer people are shoving it down our throats. Why do you need a whole month to celebrate your queerness and whatnot? Y'all have an entire year where nobody patronizes you for liking women if you're a man, right? You have an entire year where women like men and nobody's saying anything. There's more equality for you guys. That's why we get 1 month. The same way in America, they have Black History Month, which is just 1 month, because the rest of the year they're already just looking at white people and just like, hey, whatever. It's the same way we get to have Pride Month. It's not about taking over, it's just about building equality between the two of us. Because why should who I'm spending my time with in my bed at night affect anything? Be it my job, be it my next of kin on my doctor's notes, be it all of these things. It really shouldn't have to do anything with anything. Because you're not there with me. You're not making the babies with me. And you can fight me on this. You can have multiple conversations with me on this. But hey man, I'm not changing my stance. And have you seen women? Have you? Especially, let's get into this. I live in Botswana. Have you seen the women in this country? I mean, other than the women in Zim. I'm so sorry about that. My dog, those of you who've been on my social media know I have a little, not even little, he's big. Yeah, and he wanted to say hi. So hi to you too. But I'm gonna need you to keep quiet. Thank you. Guys, other than Zimbabwean women, because hello, all great things come from Zimbabwe. I've told you guys this before. If you want happiness, date a Zimbabwean woman, aka me. So if you think you stand a chance, feel free to shoot your shot. But at the same time, disclaimer, look at yourself, then look at me, and really think about it and be like, is it going to work? Thanks. Much appreciated. Also, hey, I'm lying to you guys. I'm very much married, and my wife wouldn't like me being out there in the streets. Thanks. So, yeah. But getting into being gay, what is it to be gay? It's just, well, being a normal person and happening to like who you like. And yeah, I think the biggest thing is acceptance, right? And I'm talking acceptance from yourself, acceptance from the people around you, acceptance from the people that you care most about, but like I said, it starts with yourself, because with my story, I had to go from not caring about what I liked to caring about it, and then having to go back to not caring about it, right? And it was such a struggle for me to even accept the fact that I liked girls, because I was like, okay, I'm meant to like men. That's what I've grown up knowing. I've been told, hey, you need to like boys. Boys are the ones who are, your be all and end all, and you're going to get married to one of them, and they're going to put a baby in you and trap you for life, and it's going to be apparently your happily ever after. And I was like, no. That wasn't my reason for liking girls. I've just always had an attraction towards them. I've always been like, ooh, always be there like, you're so pretty, but like not in a friendly way, more in like a I want to touch you where you pee type of way. You get me? So I've always had a thing for women, and it just was super difficult trying to accept that, because it was like, okay, here I am, and this is what I like, but I don't know how to convey that to other people. I don't know how to accept it within myself first and foremost, because I felt like I was doing something that was very wrong. I felt like I was a disappointment, not only to myself but to like my family members, and the people around me would have looked at me like I was weird. I struggled with that for a very, very long time, and it added to like my identity crisis and my mental health issues, because I felt like I was doing something that I shouldn't be doing. And I'm not going to lie, for a really, really long time I thought that the only solution was to just, well, sleep on the A1, because I was like, okay, if this is who I am and I can't change it, then at some point I'm going to have to just like end it all, because I really couldn't change it. Like the attraction, it wasn't going away. I tried. Shame. I tried. I dated boys. I flirted with them. We did it all, and it wasn't for me. It's just not my cup of tea. At some point, I tried to tell myself that I was bi. I really, really wasn't. Shame, because in that bi-ness, I was just with women, right? Like you can see a bi person and you can tell that they're bi, because they've got that thing where they're still giving not necessarily equal opportunities, but they've got that thing where you can tell the very least there's still like attraction towards both the genders or all genders. Yeah, no, for me it was like, this is Nika, she's claiming to be bi, but all she's looking at was women, and that's kind of how it was, right? So it took a lot of time, and then after a while I was like, hey man, you know what, this is who I am, and I kept it moving, and here I am, still keeping it moving in a very happy, healthy relationship with my future wife. Thanks. I hope I get to see her tonight, actually. Those of you who are listening right now, it's been a few days, but ish man, tonight is the night I get to see a beautiful Zimbabwean man sing, and I'm so excited. But that's not the point of this this episode. Even though I have been led to believe that he might be queer himself, but I'm not going to go and speak for him. This is not confirmed, this is not factual. This is something I've been led to believe, which is super cool, right? Because I don't get to hear too much about queer men in Botswana or in my city at all, because it's like they're hiding. It's like it's a taboo, which is another thing we need to talk about, guys. This thing where we seem to be a little bit more accepting of lesbians or queer women than we are of our queer men. Like, make it make sense to me. Because I've had people literally say to me, oh, I wouldn't mind if like my daughter was lesbian, but I would definitely have an issue if my son is gay. Why? Like, I actually want to understand. I know it sounds very judgmental, because it is, but at the same time I actually do want to know. Why? What is it about your daughter being lesbian or your friend being lesbian that you can handle that you can't handle about your son being gay? They literally have this one thing in common where they like the same gender. Like, after that, where's the difference? And I genuinely believe it comes down to toxic masculinity, and we're raising our boys and our men with this toxic masculinity for I have no idea why, because it baffles me. I'm like mind boggled half the time, so I'm like, okay, right? But either way, they keep going about it like this, and I'm like, well, just accept everybody the way that they are. And if you can't handle the thought that maybe at some point your child is going to be queer, don't have kids. Please. Your children's accomplishments are not yours. You are not trying to live through your kids. You're not going to marry whoever your kid ends up marrying. Are you going to be in bed with them? Are you going to be taking care? Oh, okay, you might be taking care of their kids, but like still, you get what I'm trying to say. You really have no say in all of these things, and yet you want to put your ideas or your thinkings into how somebody else lives their life. It just doesn't make sense, and then it makes it that much harder for them to come out to you. And one day you're wondering, why doesn't my kid talk to me anymore? Well, they don't talk to you because, well, they hear your bigotry and your homophobia. It is as simple as that. And then when you find out eventually that, oh, this is who they are, you want to throw a fit, like your whole life has changed. And yet this person that you've raised is quite literally the same person you've raised, like from day one till the end. Nothing's changed. They've always been gay. They just hid it well enough for you to not see it, right? There's so many people out there who are closeted right now, and you would think, oh no, they're not gay, they're not into all of this. Yeah, it's because they don't show it. They're not going out of their way to be like, hi, by the way, I'm gay. Or they're not going out of the way to wear every color of the rainbow every single day, because, well, they don't need to, and quite frankly, they don't owe it to you. Even coming out, I feel like that's not something that is owed to anybody. Why do I need to go out of my way to tell people that this is what I like? When I walk into a restaurant, do I go in there and I'm like, I like my beef well done? No, that's not how it works. I don't go in there screaming I want it medium rare. I don't scream in going, I want a Sauvignon Blanc. I just go in and I order what I want, because what I want on the menu is my preference. So why do I need to do the whole announcement of this is who I am, this is what I like to everybody else? I like women, but I'm not going to go to an event and be like, I only want to talk to women because I like women. I'm going to talk to whoever I want to talk to. If you have a good energy, you have a good heart, we're going to talk. But dating wise, women is my preference. But I don't feel the need to go out there and be like, hey, I want to be with a woman. This is who I am. I'm gay. I don't introduce myself. Hi, my name is Nika and I'm gay. I just keep going. I'm like, hi, my name is Nika, and keep going about it, right? Because what I like to touch in the bedroom quite literally has nothing to do with how well I can work and how well I can, carry myself, if you get what I'm trying to say. But there's some people out there who have every issue with all of these things, which I will never seem to understand. And that is why we're having these conversations throughout Pride Month. We're going to be talking about this. I want to have people and I want to have a dialogue about these things. I want to figure out, why do people have such issues with these things, right? I want to understand, why do people not stand up for their queer brothers and sisters, and yet they claim to be allies? Because there are people out there who are going, oh my gosh, I'm an ally, and I've got gay friends, and yet they're actually really, really homophobic, right? But the thing is, here's the thing about those people. I feel they don't actually know that they're homophobic. And this translates to the fact that they were raised a certain way. Because there's certain things that have been embedded in us, right? We grew up a certain way. I grew up Catholic. So for me, being Catholic is all I've ever known, right? And for me, it's always been like, oh yeah, no, Catholics are like this. I, at some point, believed that Catholics were holier than thou, because that's just the perception about Catholics and how we go about things, right? But it takes time to unlearn those things. But some people don't get the opportunity to unlearn those things because they're still in those environments that are teaching them all of these backward thinking mindsets, right? So sometimes they could be like, yeah, no, I'm understanding of who you are and what you do, but you don't get to see that as much because, well, it's kind of just ingrained in them. It's there. You can't take it away. Well, you can. It takes a really, really, really long time to find and be like, hey man, let me actually correct all of this. Right. It takes a lot in us. Right. And then on top of that, there's the ever-changing perception of being queer in this space, in this world, in this generation, compared to what the other generation thinks of us, because, well, it is changing a lot, right? If there's one thing, like one of the first things I learned when I got into law school was that the law is based off of our morality. But then a question was baked that whose morality then are we actually using or focusing on in order to create these laws? And if we're going based off of morality, then doesn't that make the law subject to change? Because at some point, if the majority decide that something is now considered wrong, and yet before it was considered right, it would change, right? For example, if you followed, what is this called? If you followed the case of like Roe v. Wade in America, where they were overturning abortion, for a while they were cool with it. It was like, hey man, if you can't have a kid right now, that's completely fine. Go and get an abortion. Whether that's because it's financially not time, emotionally, or you just never wanted kids, then go ahead. Do what you need to do to not have that child. And then eventually, enough people were like, no, but that's immoral. After they said it was immoral, and then Roe v. Wade was overturned. You see what I'm trying to say? So now this whole thing of like, is being queer immoral? It's like, okay, if y'all don't know your history, I'm about to give you a little bit of a lesson. Homosexuality has been dated back to way too long ago. I'm talking from like the first people in, I think, around the regions of like Egypt, and them you can see in their little hieroglyphics that people have been homosexual for a while, and then eventually at some point it just went a different way, and now we're all straight, and we keep it moving, right? And it's like, okay, what happens if 50 years from now, for example, everybody's now like, okay, everybody's supposed to be gay. That is the default, that is the standard. Then what? The morality has changed. So why are we using morality as the first thing, right? To determine whether it's right or wrong? Why are we even trying to determine what someone does in the privacy of their own home is wrong? It's not like I'm going to a restaurant and shoving my tongue down my partner's throat. Not even straight couples are doing that. Now imagine for gay couples who already know that you feel some type of way, but we're not going to be doing all of that. I mean, there's some people out there who just really don't give a damn. They're going to do whatever they want to do. But most people understand that that level of PDA is not socially acceptable. The most we can be doing out there is like giving each other like a little peck on the kid. Oh gosh, English is fighting me, fumbling me. The most we can be doing out there is giving each other a little peck on the lips, and then we keep it moving, right? But we act as if gay people are going around, quite frankly, having sex on the sidewalk, and that's not what they're doing. They're just having a good time, enjoying their partners, being in love. If someone told you to not love the person that you wanted to love, how would you feel? You'd hate it. If someone made you always wear something that was itchy, for example, how would you feel? You'd feel itchy, you'd feel uncomfortable, you'd feel like you want to take it off because you're not comfortable in your clothing, right? The same way people who are currently in the closet feel. They are wearing, or they're going around with this facade of them being something that they're not, which is straight. And they feel uncomfortable every single day for fear of retribution, for fear of what you may think as a society. I think it's time we say, as a society, okay, whatever, keep moving, do your own thing. You're gay, you're gay. You're not gay, well, cool. Let's just keep it moving. Like, I really don't care. I feel like that's the mindset we need to have as a society. Like, we don't care. Do what you want to do. Have sex with whoever you want to have sex with. Marry whoever you want to have sex with. In Botswana, literally, only in 2019, that's how many? 4 years. Only 4 years ago was being homosexual decriminalized. We still can't get married here, but at the very least, we can hold hands in public. which I don't understand. I'm like, why is this such an issue for you? What's it doing for you? And before people go, oh no, but then we're going to have a decline in how many kids are born and all of that. Let me tell you something about my generation first and foremost. Already half of us don't want to have kids. And that has nothing to do with whether or not we're gay. It's just because kids are expensive, tax is going up, everything is... we can't afford to be having kids. We can barely afford to buy a Streetwise 2 without going broke. So... it's really not about that. No, it's just wrong, okay, and you are doing something wrong, okay? You, when you go and you decide to go and better a U-turn somewhere where you shouldn't be doing it, it's wrong, but you don't see somebody running after you or chasing you down in their car to tell you that what you did was wrong, unless it's the police thing. Yeah, they're going to chase you down. Shame if they see you. Best believe it's about to be a wild goose chase until they catch you. So yeah, this is just a little preview of what's been going on or what is to come throughout the month of June. Because Pride Month, we're going to be talking about all of these things in further detail. Like, this is literally just the start. This is just the start. We're going to be talking about dating and everything. We're going to be talking about all sorts of stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for listening and hearing me out, and I appreciate your presence as always. I will see you again next week.